Welcome back everybody, Harry here, known as Trade Shop. We have an exciting update today because Bitcoin has just popped up really nicely here. We're going to look at Solana as well. That has had some really good traction and has a lot of updates coming soon. So I want to see what the price is doing with this ecosystem developing. Now first we're going to have a look at Bitcoin and as well touch up on Ethereum. Ethereum seems to be moving nicely. So obviously we had this range that I've been talking about, and we had the downside wicks, and this is what I was explaining over the weekend when you if you guys have been watching my video. I said yes, a wick down here to scare people is an opportunity for price to continue up, and I did think that probably we would close exactly where we were here, and that was the opportunity. But as long as we weren't closing below that 47,938, then I did not have any problems with the chance with the chart to continue this bounce towards the upside. Now, how did we end up closing the weekly? As you can see, we closed the weekly very bearish here, and I am still waiting for my target here to be hit at 45,290. I do think that this is not the end of it, and I do think that this is the weekly creating its top wick. How far can this top wick go? Well, it could easily pop up here to 55,000, which is looking like a nice area of resistance, or fill out this candle, which is coming around 56,000. So that area there is my critical zone, and I'm looking if prices to put a higher low in there. I do think on a higher time frame basis, like a daily, we do end up closing and putting the higher low somewhere within this critical region here. But I didn't expect price to pop up this aggressively, so that's very interesting to see. Just out of interest to see the volume coming in on that. We can see it's not much volume, which is interesting as well. Let's see on the lower time frames. Yeah, you could see that's not much volume, so this might actually be a fake out, come back in the range and continue up. Let's see if anything is telling us otherwise. So obviously we are coming to this area here. We are rejecting, and we have a chance in 2 hours. So let's see the 1 hour. The 1 hour is already put in a downtrend as soon as this wick was taken out here, and I do see it coming down. 51 is not out the question, but does it want to put in a higher low? How is volume looking for this to be a fake out? Yeah, volume is now declining, so that is interesting to see. We might see just a retest and continue upwards. I do think that this might be the catalyst of the bounce, and we might bounce even more. But I do want to check how our momentum is doing. 1 hour momentum is all the way up there, so yeah, I would be looking for some short-term downside. 4 hour momentum also very much up there, so we could see a little bit of a pullback back to 51 and actually continue up and onwards. I do think we do bounce out of here and out of interest, and you can see, guys, that what is happening, we are catching that trend line and starting to turn around. So if this 3-day can close bullish like so in a day and 15 hours, then this 3-day will naturally turn around, catching all of our lows coming back from here, and it will play out that bounce. Now what is interesting to me is that I still do think we end up putting in a higher low. But what could happen is Bitcoin is in a position now where it can mess around with a lot of people. We could easily see Bitcoin come fake out up even to 61,000 before coming down, right? Looking at 12-hour structure, I mean, technically it would break 12-hour structure, but Bitcoin can do a lot of things now. And if you look at this without any drawings, what it looks like is it could be a massive range, right? This is the top side of your range, this is the bottom side of your range. I mean, around here, that $45,000 mark would be the bottom side of your range, and anything in between there is a range. And this can fool a lot of people as soon as we get up above this area here at about 60,000, and what essentially happens is where we would just be ranging, right? So I do think, of course, that 45 is a basing option, but I'm not convinced that this is the reversal. I do think we bounce out of here, also getting a nice bounce back as well. And I do think that if we do start seeing the bearish side where stuff starts to roll over, let's just have a look at this. Yeah, we can see we have a very aggressive regression catching the 12 hours. So I do think this bounce does end up playing out here. So if this thing starts to roll over, I will be looking at that as an opportunity, and for price probably to come down to that $45,000 area, and I would be looking, to probably scale out of some of my altcoins. Not financial advisor, of course, but with that being said, let's get into Ethereum. And Ethereum, on the other hand, it's a very bullish chart. I have nothing to say that's bad about Ethereum in terms of a chart perspective and many other perspectives as well. But look, it's just putting in constant high lows. I don't even think 4 hour structure. Yeah, 4 hour structure is not even broken, guys. This thing is definitely, I do think after it will play that same pullback, Bitcoin is looking like it wants to pull back to this area probably before continuing upwards, and I think it will tap this 2.6. But if this Bitcoin pump plays out for a while with the rotation of the market, I do think we get this 2.764 target hit, and I do see that being hit, and probably comes up here to the psychological number of 2.8, and then I think we play a greater pullback. Looking at the daily, I want to take one more Fibonacci here just to see what some targets. Yeah, so they're giving me a little bit higher targets here, but the strongest base is where I took it from. That was out of interest. How about the smaller time frames? Smaller time frames. Yeah, so we're lining up there, and then we do have a target after that at 2. So yeah, I do think we have a pullback at 2.8, but I want to see if Bitcoin starts rolling over, then I would play this, then I think Ethereum could come back down to, if Bitcoin rolls over to 45, I do think it could come back down to 2.2. But long term, like looking at weekly, yeah, weekly is just going to be a wick fill. And if that wick fill breaks, then you could see some nice targets towards, 3,000, I do think definitely. And maybe even above here to 3,200 is even in the question. But let's get into Solana and have a look at what that's doing. So yeah, we're on the weekly time frame. Obviously bullish, bit red on this week, but look at the last candle. Momentum on the weekly does look like it wants to cross down, which is a little bit worrying. It's very hot in here, the 97. So the weekly is a bit overextended here at the 97 percentile, right? I want to see if some alts get higher than that. Let's just scroll through some alts that I just have on my chart. Does any of those alts get higher than that? I mean, BNB had a big rocket. Where did it get to? 97. Cardano also went flying. That got to 90. Polkadot, 89. Yeah, so these things are normally reversing around the 90 percentile. So it being all the way up here at 97 is a little bit concerning, right? So jumping on the daily, on the other hand, it does look like, daily, it's still up, right? So, but, until this starts to cross down 12 hour, what are you telling me? 12 hour? 12 hours not telling me that much. It does look like it wants to cross down, but let's start seeing price action here, right? So going on the daily to see some price action, we can see that we do have a support all the way down here, which is not going to be helpful because that's a 17% correction. The 4 hour, on the other hand, does look like with Stokes also going to turn down. I do think that yeah, I think, this is a nice area for price to base. We can see it's been tested once right here. And if we do come down, I do expect us, let's go on the 1 hour time frame, see what more structure. Yeah, so we have a clear support here. We actually do have an ascending triangle coming into here. So we could expect a short-term breakout if price decides to turn around. But keep an eye on that weekly. It does definitely need some sort of cool down. And I hope the weekly can come back down into the 80 percentile by price ranging for a little bit and then kick that off. So we're going to keep a close eye on this, and I'm going to keep you updated. But for short term, I do think if it can hold this structure like so, which we can see we just basically retested, this will probably be clear on a 15-minute, and yes, it is. And if we can pop out of there, then we can have a nice target of probably somewhere around 49, which will be a quick trade of like 3-4% move. But keep in mind there have been a lot of wicks here, so there's definitely some selling pressure at this area. I would preferably want to retest after that, but if we do break this and come to the downside, then I would remove this like so and look at this as a range, and here's your range. So we break to the downside, I see us coming down to 42. We break to the upside, I do see us popping to that short-term target. Except for some long-term targets, we should go on the daily is not even going to help us. We can go on the 4 hour here. We don't even have a confirmed top on the 4 hour, so that's even making it complicated. But we could take rough. This is not going to be as accurate as I hoped it would be. But yeah, you know, 50, that 49 target making sense now, even if we use the body. Yeah, so you can see using the bodies here like so. If I use the body, we are catching that resistance where price has been rejecting. So uh, yeah, I do think that 49.50 area, psychological halfway point of 100. So I do think we see some sort of pullback. But with that being said, remember guys, take care, trade sharp, and until next time, peace.